All right. Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
No, I'm Gary.
Today we're going over to Portland, Oregon.
Woohoo! PDX.
I'm on the Terror by the Bay channel. I put up a link in the posts section, formerly known as the community page, with a hyperlink to a Mary Trump video. Mary Trump is Donald Trump's niece. She's on YouTube. She's an ally. She's amazing. One of the redeeming Trumps out there.
Yeah.
And on her podcast, she had an overlay. A question was asked of Caroline Levitt at a press conference about Portland and the White House's narrative of what's happening in Portland versus what's actually happening on the ground in Portland. And Caroline Levitt got on her high horse and just admonished the reporter saying, well, I think you need to get out there because, people that have been there, and I don't mean anybody in this room, but social media posters that have been out there have a different story, and we're going to have some of them over here. And Caroline Levitt then goes on to describe the mayhem in the streets, the people,
Out of control
protesting, so on and so forth. But while they're doing they have the vocal part, they've now cut the visual is the guy in the frog costume, people in unicorn costumes dancing in front of National Guard troops. So you've got this incredibly cartoony scene of adults in inflatable animal outfits dancing while the troops are just sort of standing there. And then Caroline Levitt is painting this Armageddon picture, this dystopian society of out of control protesters rioting in the streets, and you see unicorns dancing.
Unicorn dancing, the guy in the frog costume or dinosaur dancing. It's hysterical in basically the satire of it.
Yeah. This is the type of thing that we used to see on the Onion. This is the type of thing that Saturday Night Live would do as a sketch to show you just ridiculousness. Monty Python would have done something similar. It's right in that vein of taking somebody saying the most absurd things and overlay it with equally absurd things, but on the other end of the scale.
Yeah, on the silly side of the scale. I was telling Dave, for those of you who are fans of Whose Line Is It Anyways, it's kind of like when they have Colin doing the man on the street, and he's got the microphone, he's standing in front of the green screen. They ask him questions about the scene that's going on behind him, and he has to kind of guess what is going on behind him.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's mayhem going on behind him, but he has no idea what's going there. So he has to play it straight while, silliness and madness ensues.
It's one of those things that you kind of want to share with your MAGA uncles or your MAGA family members. It's like, how Caroline Levitt, you start playing that clip and they get it all behind it. Yeah. And then the overlays show what's happening. It's like, this is, kind of like, guys, when I'm saying she's lying, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you believe her, but here's what's going on.
Yeah. And the proof is silly. It's the lie is there, but the proof is not threatening to the MAGA believer. They can look at it and think, oh, okay, have a chuckle of what's going on, but it's an example of you're being lied to.
If they choose to believe what's been revealed to them. That's the hard part with the propaganda. You have to get them to accept reality of what's going on and not the belief of what they think's going on. Now, here's the hard part. AI has gotten so good that you can watch a video and have a really difficult time telling if it's real or if it's artificial intelligence generated video. I watched one of a man and a wife cutting their wedding cake, and a golden retriever comes racing in and just starts devouring the cake right in front of them as they're to cut it. And it's like, after a while, it looks like, I really hope that's AI and not real. And then you look in the comments, oh, that's AI, that's AI, that's AI. But that's kind of where we're getting in society, that you can't necessarily believe video evidence unless somehow some way it can be confirmed not to be artificially generated.
Yeah.
Like us. Yeah, trust us.
Clearly.
Not David is not artificially generated.
Yes. Hey, so shall we do a reading?
No, why would we do that?
Okay,
Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. Support our channel. We appreciate it. Yeah, I want to learn. Why don't we take a look at the energy of the protests in Portland, Oregon?
Yes.
It's beautiful. The city of roses.
From the point of perspective of the protesters. So let's general energy on the protesters in Oregon. Okay.
They're doing it. They're protesting on the cheap, apparently.
Yeah. Foundation is the Four Pentacles. This is kind of holding to your values. They know what they value. They know what they believe in and what they think is right, and they're sticking to it. And they're support. And the challenge is because their rights are being taken away. They're protesting the rights of people being abused, taken away. This is, the star is the United States, the democracy, our constitution, our constitutional rights.
And you've got more crystals on your tabletop this time.
I do. Laura brought back a couple of crystals from London. So I guess this one is citrine.
Citrine, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is a
looks like a rose quartz, or
rose quartz, exactly. The comments, I had no idea what they were. The comments set me straight.
Got it.
You weren't here. You were busy taking care of other things yesterday. Energy underneath it is the world. The world is watching, and they want this cycle of abuse to end. They're using their powers of protest to have their voices heard. In the past, you had the Five of Wands, all the chaos that ensued. Certainly, if you look back in Trump's first term, there was a lot going on in Portland. As a matter of fact, it was in Portland or Seattle where things were starting to come down, and then Trump sent in the National Guard or sent in the military, and it just stoked the flames. But it's, just basically you're out there having a protest. Disorganized. Current situation is the Nine of Swords, but it's creating headache. It's a nightmare situation. This could be read a couple different ways. This current situation is they're seeing the abuses continue despite the protesting. It's also kind of a nightmare situation for the White House because their messaging is not aligning with what's happening on the market. Overarching energy is the cup. People with strong emotions getting out there and having their voices heard. A shout out to Blind Squirrel in the comments today. I put the reading out there about Liberty voting or buying out Dominion, and basically Blind Squirrel was saying is, keeping your fingers crossed is fine, but you need to get out there and march and protest and have your voice heard. And that's, kind of the overarching energy is what Blind Squirrel's message is show your passion and get your emotions out there. Lesson to be learned is the King of Swords. They are out there protesting their truths. They're not being violent. They're not attacking federal troops. They're not attacking federal buildings. They're out there performing a peaceful, albeit silly, protest. And it's getting attention. And the outcome is the Page of Wands, a creative messaging, a new set of messaging coming out, new, actions from the younger people coming forward.
It's effective. It's effective messaging. It's a very effective counter to the fear mongering that the right, the folks in charge in this administration, which is not Donald Trump. This is more the Stephen Millers and people like that. This is how you counter them. You take their fear, their scary ghost stories that they tell around the campfire, and then you overlay it with what's actually going on, and then it disintegrates.
Yeah, the Page of Wands. This is the way to do it, guys.
Yeah. How you do it. I shared that video. So again, I've got a link to that video on my community page. I also emailed it to Libby and Dr. Lena, just in case.
Yeah, another shout out to Donald, also known as Pick and Duck, because he was the first one that kind of pointed me towards that. Because he was talking about the frog guy in Portland. I had no idea what he was talking about.
My TikTok has been filled with advertisements for shirts of the frog guy. And basically the TikTok videos, they're typically overlaid with Rage Against the Machine. Mm-hmm. I forget. I'm sorry, forget the name of the song, but it's the people who burn crosses are the ones who join forces, or some of them forces. Basically saying the KKK or white supremacists have invaded the police forces, and that's one of the reasons why minorities get abused so badly.
Mm. Well, it's all about authority.
Murder in the Name of, I think, is the name of the song.
Yeah. I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah. But I know you got the frog dude in there.
Yeah, the frog dude, man. They interviewed him. He seemed like just an average, normal guy. He wasn't some polished politician. He was just an average guy that said, "Okay, I'm going to go out and protest, and I'm going to do it in an inflatable frog costume." And right. It's just like, you can't say that this guy's a threat. He just absolutely isn't.
It suddenly dawned on Michelle that we do have a pair of inflatable T-Rex costumes that are in my closet. We've had them for years.
That's funny.
Yeah, I doubt we will bust them out for the No Kings rally, because I don't think there's going to be any National Guard there. I mean, it really, you can bring it out. I mean, it's fun. Yeah. But if you've got National Guard, if the National Guard are anywhere where we're going, I think we're going to go to Pleasanton this time. I don't think we're going to go to the city for it. But if there were National Guard in the city or something like that, we were going to the city. Yeah, the dinosaur costumes are getting busted out. Okay, I want to look at the collective, the spiritual collective on this one, with the frog protests, the costuming, the sarcastic retorts to it. I want to see how that impacts the collective as a defense mechanism to what's actually going on with the administration. Okay, so foundation of again, entertainment purposes only. You don't believe the mad rantings of tarot readers on the internet. We've got, oh God, Ten of Swords, Death card crossed with the Nine of Cups. All right, so asking the question, how does protesting this in a silly way, it's peaceful protesting, but it's really visible and unusual. How does that affect this negative, fearful energy? It kills it. One laugh at a time, one silly costume at a time. It ends the fear. Think of this guy as the person who's in charge that's trying to set up the narrative. This is the narrative setter, and you're killing the narrative setter, and you're resetting it.
The guy who's manipulating your emotions, because the cups are about emotions, right?
Right. In the past, the Four of Wands, and I want to say the collective is welcoming this type of energy coming in, because it's light energy. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's silly. It's not heavy.
It's not threatening.
It's not dark. Current situation is the Emperor. What it does is it points out the Emperor not wearing any clothes. The big bads. Yeah, no, I know, but sorry, it didn't get you the trigger alarm there. For those taking a sip of your coffee that just spit it out, or just had that little bit of vomit come up. And,
exactly. Oh, man.
The Emperor has no clothes. It defangs this whole authoritarian government, because authoritarian governments, they work on fear. Fear is how you control people. Laughter, humor, sarcasm is it's swords against it. It absolutely kills it, because how can you be scared of something that you're laughing hysterically at? Now, there are historical examples of that. Mike Tyson has a very funny sounding lisp, and if you want to laugh in his face, you do so at your peril.
Oh, yes. and a fairly high-pitched voice. I mean,
he had a fairly high-pitched voice too. You just don't want to be in a boxing ring with this guy. But more to the point, the governments rely on fear, and if they don't have that fear, they've got nothing to control you. Okay. Come on down again. Overarching energy is the Six of Coins. It's a gift. It's a gift that you give to others. It takes the big energy of the government and diminishes it. And remember also that these protests are not necessarily for the people protesting. It's for the people that are being subjected to this. Folks being deported without habeas corpus, without their due process. These protests are a generosity to others. The similar Ace of Cups. How is the collective viewing this humor? It's generous. It's passionate. It builds relationships. Again, you're moving past the fear part, and you're moving into self-confidence. The outcome is the Knight of Swords, and I'm going to read this as diminishing anxiety. Now, the government could try and come up with different ways to create anxiety, but you've defanged this one.
Yeah.
And it causes anxiety for this guy, or the people that are manipulating the emperor with no clothes. It's like, what do you do next? Because again, most of these guys are not the best and brightest. They're just the opportunistics. And Trump has shown them how people react to fear. The Republicans and conservative groups generally work with fear. Anything that, for people that really like structure and organization, hierarchy, they tend to be more susceptible to fear because they don't do well in gray zones. They don't do well in nebulous situations. It's scary to them. The structure provides them protection.
Yeah.
And so that's why people like that tend to fall into conservative circles, and they're manipulatable by fear.
Yeah, because there's a right and a wrong. It's very clear,
very clear cut. Exactly. Heaven forbid, they don't like that gray zone. They want to minimize it.
Yeah, it's funny because I know when I was little, it seemed like making decisions was real simple. Is the right way and a wrong way, and you just do it the right way. And then as I was finding as I was growing is that those simple decisions started becoming more difficult because you start to consider more things. Your vision starts to broaden.
Well, if you do it because usually if you think about it, if you're a little kid, you're doing it purely from egocentric base. What's the best for me?
Yes.
And then it gets more difficult when you have to think, what's the best for me, but also for other people around me.
Yeah.
That's where it starts getting complicated.
Yeah. So, I mean, my advice to the folks out there is just forget about everyone else. Just do what's best.
Yeah, just be selfish. Leopards, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. It's simple. It's just everyone's happier. It's just so easy. So I'm curious if this is going to spread and if this ultimately is going to derail the attacks. It's not going to derail the attacks of the Trump administration because their whole administration is based on the attacks. But is it going to be an effective derailing tool where Trump and company are going to have to come up with some other boogeyman because this boogeyman is going to be neutered? Knight of Pentacles, just sit back and observe, see what's going to happen. People have a choice. You've got a decision to make. King of Wands, take bold actions. Lovers, building relationships. A deeper understanding of things. This is the card that makes me feel the best about this reading. Everything else was kind of nebulous at this point. And then underneath it, perfect, the star.
Yep, it's the Epstein files. Just release the Epstein files and everything fixes itself.
Yes.
Here we go with the Epstein files. We've all been waiting for it. You have a choice. Do you want to stick with Donald Trump or do you want to say, yeah, no thanks. Don't like pedos. And this guy's all over the place.
It's funny you say that Because now when I look at the cards, I could totally make that the case. Just like, we need to take bold action. Harump, harump. I didn't get a harump out of that guy. Because if we don't keep keep everyone off balance, they're going to want to start talking about the Epstein files, and that's not good for the Star.
Yep. It's all about the Epstein files.
You can totally read that into those cards, and that was completely not where I was going with that.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they answer questions you don't ask, or sometimes there's layers. I look at it's like, okay, is that the Epstein? Oh God, decisions. Oh yeah, that's the Epstein files. Yep. I mean, that's the ultimate defanging right there, because there's just so many people are going to be revolted. Now, I understand the folks will say, but it's going to be redacted to hell and back, and there's some MAGA that just there's no helping them. Yes, you're right, and you're right. Sterling would have you believe that non-redacted sources from outside the United States might make it into the zeitgeist as well, so that you get to see the names of people involved in it. But hold your breath on that one until it actually happens. Mike Johnson won't get Congress back in there. There's just real high level. The Republicans are wanting to fund the troops for another paycheck or two, and they found some money in the military budget that for research that's not being, it's not being used.
Monies that were unspent in the Pentagon, so they tapped into that.
And they want to pay the troops with that. But even the Office of Bureau of Management and Budgets was saying, with that you can't do that. It's illegal. You can't just have an administration come in, take money that wasn't spent, and then spend it how they want to spend it. And that same person said Congress can pass a bill to take that money and spend it on the troops, but it has to go through Congress. And Mike Johnson's doesn't want to bring Congress back in session, because if he brings it back in session, then he's going to have to swear in this new Congresswoman, and he doesn't want to do that because that'll be the 218 signature on the discharge petition, which will force a vote on releasing the Epstein files.
Yep. Right. It all comes back to the Epstein files.
It all comes back to the Epstein files. And I really do think that the more they delay this, the worse it's going to be for Trump and his circle. Because just think about how when it finally gets released, and then it dawns on them, you've been delaying this for months. You told us this. We've been suffering through this, and the whole time you made us suffer without, with the government being shut down and our healthcare going up, not because you were trying to do something with the budget, but because you were trying to protect pedos.
Yep.
That's, you step back and let the Republican rage go towards the people that have enraged them. And it's not going to be us. Let them go. Get your popcorn and watch them tear themselves apart.
It'll be very satisfying.
Yeah, get your frog costume on and dance as they're blowing.
Yes. I'm getting myself an inflatable costume. I can't believe you've had inflatable dinosaur costumes all this time, and I've never had one.
We got them. There was a lot of videos out on YouTube back about 10 years ago of people wearing them. I took Bella, our Great Pyrenees, on Halloween for a walk while wearing it. She did not like me when it's like I put it on and I walked out into my living room. She was on the back deck. She's like, ah. She was very interested, but she wasn't interested in getting close to it.
Yeah, get that thing away from me.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of also a 115-pound dog. Do you really want to scare them? If she doesn't know it's me, that could be bad.
Yeah.
No, don't kill me. It's me, you dummy.
Right.
You big dummy.
Wait, that dinosaur tastes and smells familiar.
Exactly. He screams just like Dad. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and supporting our channel. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll wake you up at midnight.
Don't hit Bella.
No, I would never do that.
No,
she's a 150-pound dog. She'd rip my arm off. Dallas was only 75 pounds. He was giving up 45 pounds to her, but I wouldn't mess with Dallas either.
No. Yeah. Dallas could be sharp if he wanted to be.
Yes,
Not to me, though. He's a good boy.
He was a great boy. Hey, so let's give a couple of shout outs.
Oh, okay.
I want to give a shout out to Drought Tolerant. The comment.
Tolerant. Go look for more water, Drought Tolerant.
That's a very appropriate card. The comment was, so Gary, you're a Republican, so you can vote in the primaries against MAGA candidates. Isn't that kind of sneaky? I had more faith in your honesty. And I don't think it's sneaky at all. It's just, hey, I'm just trying to guide the Republican Party the direction I think they need to go.
Yeah, and the thing is, understand in California we have ranked choice voting, so he can vote for whoever he wants. In the end, it's the top 2 vote getters are the ones that will square off for that final seat.
Yep.
So if we have a governor seat opening up, and Katie Porter gets the most votes, and I'm trying to think of who the other gal was. Let's say Alex Padilla doesn't want to be a senator anymore, and he gets the second most votes. It's going to be in, let's say,
excuse me,
Caitlyn Jenner is running for the Republicans. It gets the third most votes. Caitlyn Jenner may have been a Republican, and Katie Porter was the highest vote-getting Democrat. It's still going to be Katie Porter versus Alex Padilla. It's the top 2 vote getters.
The top 2, yeah. So it's, for me, I'm just trying to guide the Republican Party back towards the center. I'm in no way feeling obligated that I need to actually vote for the Republican candidate, especially if the Republican candidate's 2, standard deviations to the right of center. So
his one Republican vote will not make a hill of beans difference against the very conservative rural Central California.
Oh, yeah, hell no. That is for sure. How about another shout out to Catherine MD, who correctly identified rose quartz and citrine.
Citrine. I guess you can call it citrine if you want to.
Citrine. There were many people that pointed that out to me. I had at least a dozen comments telling me what these were. And then let's wrap it up with Bev L. Beverly Lindsley. Hey, Beverly Lindsley. The 2 of Pentacles.
Bouncing around.
Yeah. Okay, and then how about a card for the rest of us? Oh my!
Is it the Jack of?
Devil's in the detail.
My! The devil,
Yeah, don't chain yourself to the fear mongering. That's what the dinosaur costumes and the frog costumes are. That's taking the chains off the fear and showing there's really nothing to fear. It's just a protest. And we're not being violent and we're not being threatening. We're just being Americans.
Very silly Americans.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Have a good one. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Take care, folks. Bye.